ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Starcastic Remarks. The Dallas Stars win 3-2 against the San Jose Sharks in the shootout tonight. Back and forth game, more big goalies. Sharks are a lot better than the Sharks have been in the past, but overall the Stars overcome and they take them down. I'm Chris, joined beside my brother James. James, how did you think that game went?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Stars get a little lucky in the first period of this one. Felt like they probably should have gotten even more goals later on, but this is what happens when the Stars play the Sharks. I learned that last year. Every single game, there's something new that happens that just doesn't make any sense. For some reason, it's so hard for the Stars to beat this team. It's always close. It doesn't matter. So I kind of thought that looking at it on the schedule, I was like, oh, we won our first 3 games. Great. Now we're going to lose. But they barely pull away with one tonight. So they kind of suck it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Especially that first period, the Stars looked bad for the first 10, 15 minutes even of the first period. They just didn't really show up, which wasn't great. And the Sharks looked pretty good, had a couple of good chances. Otter had some big saves, especially in the first period. That was probably Otter's best period of the night. You could argue the third potentially, but I think the Sharks had more chances in that first. But after that, I feel like the Stars kind of took it to them. And the Stars had more pressure in the game, more shots, obviously. I don't remember what they finished the night with, but they had close to 40 shots on the night. 38 shots to finish the night. And Blackwell was great for San Jose all night long. He really kept them in it in that third period. That was an insane performance by him.
Yeah, Blackwood was really good. I mean,
Blackwood. Sorry, I said Blackwell.
No, I think the broadcast must have done it a couple of times too, because like that, it's so weird to have both of those go on. But he was spectacular, and really it was more impact saves where like the Stars should have scored that goal, and he stopped it, and he did that like 4 or 5 times throughout the night. Whereas like Otter only had to do that like twice, which is great because he did it twice, and that's how we end up with the win. But he was standing on his head. Blackwood was.
Yep. And as was Otter. I mean, like I said, that first period was great by him. A couple of timely saves in the third period as well, when it started to open up a little bit, when both teams were trying to get that go-ahead goal, probably like the middle of the third period. I feel like the 5 to 15 minute mark is pretty back and forth there. A couple of good chances either way. And especially that 5-on-3 penalty kill. I mean,
that was
great penalty killing. Yeah. Well played by Otter. He wasn't tested too much. That's how great the penalty kill was. But the defense tonight, I thought, was very good, except for 2 really bad plays.
Yeah. And most of those plays were just turnovers that led to offensive man rush. So.
Yep. And those 2 plays are the offensive zone blue line, something we talked about all season long last year, rearing its ugly head here in game 4. And they were both really bad, and they were by 2 of the best Dallas Stars players. Yeah. Jamie Benn gave up 1, and Jason Robertson gave up 1, and they were both just really boneheaded plays, in my opinion.
Yeah, and
they were both really bad.
It's kind of a story of them trying to do too much, too, because that second period, the Stars were just downhill the whole time. I mean, the shots were like 15-5 or something in that period. And the Stars are just trying to do too much, too high up in the zone, and it cost them twice. I mean, that's all it takes, and that's something that they had to learn last year. It was like a month. It took them to not to do those regularly every single night. So hopefully that doesn't pop back up, but I really think some of it stems from frustration, because at the point we had so many shots on goal, and we're down in the game or we're tied in the game.
For sure. That second period, I understand the frustration too, because I mean, Blackwood was stopping everything. He was a wall back there. So they're trying to get a little bit more creative and do something there. And it cost them 2 times. And luckily they were both answered pretty quick both times. So
yeah, within, I mean, the first one was like 6 minutes, and the second one was 3 minutes or 2 minutes exactly, actually.
Yeah. So it's good. I guess I don't know what you'd call that. Game management, using of emotion. I don't know what you'd call that, but the Stars were able to answer really quick and make sure that they didn't trail too much. The first time they trailed this year was in this game, and it was for a total of 8 minutes combined, is what it looks like. So not bad by the Stars there. both the goals that the Stars scored, again, like all the goals that have been scored this season, were beauty. I mean, they were both great goals.
Yeah, the Matt Duchene one is probably the first one that you could call like a dirty goal, where Stankoven's trying to throw it across, it bounces off, someone goes back to Marchment, and then it's like netter. That's the first one that we've had of those, where he's like, you just tap in, you know?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then the Hintz one is just it's Robertson, Johnston, and Hintz just knowing where they are constantly and making space by passing and not and Hintz on the shot not taking any time to shoot that puck either, because there was someone closing in on him, but he shot it right away and it didn't give the defender a chance to get there.
Yeah, and when I think of what that line is capable of, that's the kind of stuff that I think of right there. I think that's a little taste of what we can get from those three combined this year. Because I mean, it's speed, it's tenacity on the puck, it's smart, smooth, quick movements with their hands to get them in better positions. It's not even big, crazy, cool dangles. It's just a quick kick of the puck from your skate right onto your forehand, just in one motion, stuff like that. Those three guys are so good at those small little things. And it makes them so dangerous, and it makes them such good forward checkers, and it makes them so good at being able to turn those forechecks into goals so quickly. And that's something we saw a ton of last year, and I think we will see even more of this year with Johnston on that line.
And they're really good at like passing themselves into more space. I mean, they get trapped a lot. And you see three defenders all come down on one of them, and he passes it away, and somehow it gets back to him, and suddenly he's open. And that's what that play was.
Yeah, it's passing the puck and moving to where they need to go, and they don't have to think about it. They're just going there automatically as soon as it leaves their stick. So yeah, beautiful play by them. That's just a taste of what's to come, I think. So that was awesome. We had another breakaway tonight that the Stars didn't score on. I sent in the group chat. I was like, I think we're 0 for 4 on breakaways so far this year, and I of course I said I hope we don't go to a shootout. And then we go to a shootout and we go 3 for 3. So that makes a lot of sense. But I don't know what it is, but we've had some wide open breakaways too. Like nobody within 15 feet of these guys, and they haven't been able to get anything to go. I mean, is there anything to that? I don't think there is, but it's weird that it's happened 4 times now.
Yeah, the Donov one's kind of expected. I've said this before. He feels like Janmark when he gets on those breakaways. He just can never score on them. He's had multiple chances, and Dodonov actually got kind of stoned more than once tonight too. He had 2 or 3 times. Grade A chances that just he couldn't get to go. So
Dodonov had 3 shots on goal tonight and looked really good on that line with Duchene and Marchment. Actually, they kept buzzing pretty good. It wasn't the same as with Seguin, but better than we've seen them in the past when they lose one of their line mates.
Yeah, that's true.
And he had several good. I think all 3 of those shots were probably red A chances, and they all got stoned or were not great shots or whatever. Chat's freaking out, so we're gonna bring this one up next. Lundqvist with 16-24 time on ice. That's great. We love to see that from Nils Lundqvist. I thought he played really good tonight, especially defensively. Saw a lot of good plays with him using the body and making the smart play to get back into his zone first.
Yeah, and he had a little bit of a lapse at the beginning of the game. He had a weird turnover, like right when the puck dropped, but and then he had the bad penalty, but that one's not as bad because he doesn't know that the dude's going around him like that either. So those are 2 things where it's like, whatever. But if you're minimizing your mistakes like he has been to start the year, and you're still getting some offensive chances, like when on the delayed penalty call, he was the man at the top on the 6-on-5, and he looked good up there. He did very well at the top on that 6-on-5. So you keep doing things like that, you're going to get more and more trust, and you're going to get more ice time. And that's the coaching staff trying to show him that too.
And I think he's definitely taking advantage, and not just on the offensive side. It's more so on the defensive side, in my opinion. I mean, he's doing a great job of clearing people out of in front of his net and playing stronger. I think he is stronger this year. I think he gained a lot of weight in the offseason, a lot of muscle, and I think he's using it really well. And he's making smarter decisions and thinking defense first, even though he is an offensive guy. And as long as he's able to do that number 6 role and he can add a little bit of that offense, he more than deserves his spot in the lineup. I also thought it was kind of interesting that they kept him and Lindell together for the most part throughout the night. And we actually saw Brendan Smith playing with Heiskanen a little bit tonight just to just to keep
Heiskanen
the
and
other
Circle.
pairings, Heiskanen and Circle, exactly. But it was to keep a lot of these pairings the same because we saw Harley Labushkin a lot.
Mhm.
I think I don't want to say it's they just want to keep trying out these pairings, but I think it is a little bit of that. They want to let these pairings mesh a little bit more, and they know Heiskanen is going to play just fine with Brendan Smith. But in the to play devil's advocate with that, Heiskanen played a lot more than Brendan Smith. He played with everybody, like you said. So Brendan Smith had 11:34 time on ice. Miro Heiskanen 24:53. So
Played
when
all the shifts and more.
yeah, played double Brendan Smith shifts. So yeah, he played fantastic tonight, and actually Harley finished with more time on ice than Heiskanen. I didn't
Yeah.
notice that until just now. Harley finishes with 26:34, and he
Some of
looked great
that's
all,
because of overtime.
especially because of overtime, because he is an overtime machine, and he looked
I don't know why
dangerous again.
he's so good on it. I don't understand it. I think
And
it's just the goal scoring mentality he has. I mean, he hardly
yes,
really does have it. He wants to score goals.
and I was going to say, even during the game, he looked a little bit more aggressive on the offensive side of the puck tonight. I really liked him dangling, dancing on the blue line, trying to find lanes into the ice to take some wrist
Mhm.
shots. I loved that from Harley tonight. I thought he was extremely good. He finishes with 4 shots on goal tonight, actually. And Heiskanen, I thought, was doing a little bit more as well. I don't know if that was a MO from the coaching staff or not, but Heiskanen finishes with 3 shots as well. So I like seeing both of those guys get up there offensively and make sure we keep the forwards honest of the other team and not let them come up to the point so fast. Maybe make them think that they're going to get danced out of their skates a little bit before they try and attack the blue line.
Yeah.
So
And some of that getting deep with defensemen is what caused the goals against tonight as well. Because when when your defensemen are deep, you can't make those passes on the blue line
yep.
when you're forward. I mean, you gotta go back deeper into the zone. So that's where some of that comes from as well. So it's kind of like the risk reward that you see, and you just have to know when your defensemen are going deep and acknowledge that and make the right play.
And that's definitely a part. I was thinking about this during the game. That's a part of the Pete DeBoer system too, is being a little bit more aggressive, especially compared to the Rick Bones hockey that we had several years ago. We didn't have these problems with offensive blue line turnovers turning into goals because there was always people back anytime that happened when Bones was the coach of this team. Now it's a problem because we're being more aggressive on the blue line, and there's not always going to be 3 people back for it, no matter what. So that is definitely the risk reward you get from it. But I think going from 28th in offense to what would we get last year? 3rd, 4th in offense?
It was
Yeah.
high.
So I think that's quite worth it. Speaking about some more offense or really lack thereof, the power play. I mean, it's game 4. It's been, what is it? We've had 12 power play chances now, 13, and we've had 1 goal. I think it's time to complain about it a little bit. They've had enough time, especially a 4-on-3 in overtime. Did not look dangerous at all, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. It's got to score.
The 4-minute power play looked good, but like you have to score. That's what it comes down to. Sometimes it can look good, but if you're not getting the dangerous chances, then you got to try something else. And I really felt like in the first period we were passing away a lot of opportunities. And there was a chance on the power play that the Donov had where half the net was open and he didn't realize it and passed it away.
Yep.
And it's just small things like that where it's like you got to get it to the net. You got to get people in front of the net, especially if it's not working. Like you just go to the place where you get goals.
Yeah, the thing I was thinking more of during these power plays is just the shooting. I mean, there is some high skill shooters on this team. We saw it in the shootout. I mean, Robertson goes almost bar down, and then Johnston goes almost posting in. I mean, they were beautiful shots. Let these guys shoot. I mean, I know we're trying to get in tight and get the slam dunk goals and all that stuff. Don't let the goalie be a part of it. But I mean, these shooters can beat these goalies. We got to give them a chance to do it. I'd like to free up some more people to take that open shot on the wing or take the one-timer on the wing, which is something we're not even trying, which is the whole goal of a lot of other teams' power plays to get that one-timer on the sideboards. And I just think it's not being utilized enough. I thought we were more creative. My complaint last time you and me were on, James, was that we weren't being creative enough on the power play. It was just to the point and to the net, to the point to the net. And there was definitely a little bit more of guys taking the puck and getting below the face-off dots tonight. and a little bit of lack of execution once it got in the slot. But there was also you're on the power play. There's 3 guys in the slot when you get the puck in the slot. So I don't know. I'd like to see just more open shots taken instead of trying to look for that slam dunk or for that high tip.
And you get those shots by faster passing is really what it is. Because we also have a lot of players who love to skate with the puck too. I mean, Matt Duchene, Miro Heiskanen loves to skate with the puck. Robertson likes to skate with the puck. Hintz likes to skate with the puck. I mean, pretty much everyone on our team loves the stick handling aspect, but being able to get those faster passes and work the defense a little is integral to getting those open shots.
Yeah, I think that's true. And that's definitely going to be a disagreement in philosophy, I think, from how Steve Spott's running it right now. He's running it more of calm, keep possession, be patient, and wait for stuff to open up. It's not working right now. We'll see if it works later on. It still is game 4, so we're not going to freak out about it just yet, but it's for sure underwhelming. And especially after the playoffs and how we got knocked out last year we had no power play goals in that series against the Oilers. I mean, we got to see something different. And that is Steve Spott. That's his main job on this team is power plays. And I don't think it's working, to be honest. I don't think it's working.
Fortunately, he has a long time to work on that. So
yeah, we got a long way to go for sure. And we're still winning. So if we can win without scoring any power play goals, we got a pretty good hockey team, I think. We should talk a little bit more about Jake Ottinger. I mean, every single start he's had this season has been over a 900 save percentage. He's had an amazing start to the year. This is the Jake Ottinger that we see, and we say he can win the Vezina. When he's playing like this is a Vezina trophy winning Jake Ottinger, and he's proving it again today. And if he can keep this up, man, it really could be a special season for him and for the Stars.
Yeah, and he's exceptionally good at starting seasons. I mean, his record in October, he's only lost like 1 game in October and 1 in overtime as well. So he's lost like 2 games in October ever, which is insane when he's had 3 years now.
He's been a goal for 3 years.
Yeah. So it's really something special, and he starts the seasons good. Like you said, it's just all about keeping it going. And sometimes he's kept it going once into November, but then got hurt and dropped off. It totally depends. That's one of the things that when we talk about him, it's like kind of unfortunate in a sense. It's like he is that good, but being able to be that consistent for that long is exceptionally hard. And that's why the Vezina Trophy is as prestigious as it is.
Yep, for sure. I mean, I can't even find anything to talk about that because I agree with everything you said. Cool. But I got one more thing. He's doing it at home too. I mean, 2 of the 3 starts that he's had have been at home, and he's playing just as good at home as he did on the road with the Preds. So that's something really good to see, especially since we talked about preseason, how he struggled at home compared to his road games. So love that from Jake Ottinger. You got anything else, James? Any other things we should mention about this game?
I really wanted to appreciate the 5-on-3 kill more, because that could have defined the game. It could have been, the Sharks won a face-off with their hand backwards, which should be a penalty.
Crazy.
And then they don't call it, and then he gets called for a slash while the dude's trying to stick lift him as well. It was weird. It's a slash still, but yeah, it that could have defined the game right there. I mean, missed call on one side gets called the other way, and it's a 5-on-3, and that should be a goal most of the time. And Lyubushkin and Lindell and Steele and Johnston on that 5-on-3, that was spectacular. I mean, it looked harmless, completely harmless. Lindell especially. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, and you think about that play Lindell made. I don't remember if it was off the faceoff or maybe their first entry after the faceoff, when he got the puck and he had 2 guys barreling down on it. He just kind of takes it into his own corner and just rifles it off the boards all the way down. Just such a calm, smart play by a veteran guy. And that's the kind of guy you pay $5 million to be your power play specialist and to look after Lundqvist on that pairing. I mean, that perfectly shows how smart and veteran and why Lindell is a great defenseman in this league. So
Lindell had a spectacular night in that sense. I mean, very, very big moments for him in this game.
Yep, So yeah, that 5-on-3 definitely a turning point. Stars answered it, and man, Stars fans too. Way to recognize that as a big point in the game too, and let them know that we appreciate that, because that was a huge play in the game, and they killed it. That was a great kill. I mean, one of the best 5-on-3 kills I've seen, I think.
Yeah. And the other one that I wanted to mention was the penalty the Sharks took in overtime, because it looked like the Stars were about to get scored on there. I mean, the Sharks started swirling, they got possession, and then they made a stupid interference penalty. And it was interference. Wish the Stars could have converted on it, but not too. Not, I'm not going to complain when they scored 3-on-3 in the shootout. I mean, you can't. At that point, you get the points the same way. So
yeah, if you're ever gonna call a pick, that's the one. I mean, that has to be a pick. If the pick is illegal, that has to be a penalty. So I thought that was a pretty clear call.
Yeah, so it's a tough one. Robertson doesn't even see him coming either. He's watching the dude with the puck the whole time, and the dude backs up perfectly into him.
He literally blindsides. It's like a blindside blocking football.
And that's perfect on Robertson to fall the way he did too, because that is, to be honest, he went down easier than a normal hockey player would go. Like, let's be fair. But if you're going to do it, that's the right time to do it, because you're completely out of the play at that point anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter if you fall or you try and fight through it or not. I tend to agree with that. And then there is one other thing I wanted to mention. Man, how should the Stars ever lose a shootout? They should never lose a shootout. I mean, we lined up with Robertson, Duchesne, and Johnston. Our top center didn't even take a penalty shot. No. And we go 3 for 3. And behind him, you have Rope Hintz. Behind him, I guess Stankoven.
Sagan.
In a normal version, Sagan, who is like has some of the most penalty shots ever. Ben, who has a lot of penalty shots. I mean, let's make it 6 rounds, and we'll win every single one if it goes 6 rounds, because Stars are loaded on that end. 3 for 3. All those were crazy good skill plays too. They were awesome.
Robertson is something that we really are spoiled on without truly knowing, because he just scores 2 out of 3 times. I mean, he's like 67% pretty much. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
He was 69% nice before he scored that one. So now he's over 70%. He's almost 3/4. It's crazy. 3 out of 4 he almost scores. And he makes it look so easy. It was the easiest goal ever. And he didn't even celebrate.
Top corner.
He didn't even top smile. Corner too. He's just like, oh, it's okay, he win.
He's
cool.
He's a stone cold killer on the shootouts.
Yeah, so that was fantastic. Biggest winner, biggest loser, James?
Biggest winner, I'm going to give it to Robertson, because there was something that we don't really realize again with him is he doesn't go 3 games without getting a point, and he got his point again tonight. So almost went 3 games, but not quite.
I'm going to give mine to Stankoven, as they've been pronouncing it more enunciatingly this year, Stankoven. He gets another point tonight. I think he's on 6 points already through 4 games. So 5? Yeah. Either way, who cares? He's already popping off. He should be your Calder favorite. He's playing great. I thought he was fantastic. I would have liked to see his line of Ben and Bork be a little bit better. I thought Bork didn't look great. I mean, it makes sense. He's coming back from an injury. His first his first NHL game since, well, actually, he played in the playoffs for 1 game. So, but it's his 3rd NHL game in his career. So we can give him a little time to settle in a little bit. But I'm excited to see how that develops in the future. And I thought Stankman played good tonight, as always. Biggest loser, James?
Biggest loser I was going to give to Bork, actually. And it's nothing of his fault, really. It's like there's just all these new rookie players that we have come in, and they have a presence around them, and you can tell when they're in the game and when they're not. And you couldn't really tell Bork was in the game tonight. And maybe that's from injury getting back in, but being able to be more aggressive and announce that you're at least there is something that's really important for him. I feel like he hasn't been able to do in any of the games he's been in the NHL. So that's something that it looks like it's going to take him some time. But once he gets comfortable, hopefully we'll see what he's really capable of, because I felt like we were missing it a lot tonight.
Yeah, I'll do the other end of that argument. He's having to follow up maybe two of the best rookies in the league. I mean, Johnson was almost won a Calder. Stankoven is technically a rookie this year and is like favorite for the Calder right now that Celebrini's hurt. So he's got some big shoes to fill. I think Borg is more on a normal progress if he's a little quiet the first couple of games. I think that's generally how a rookie would operate. So I'm not worried about it yet, especially coming back from an injury. I give him 10, 15 games even to get into this thing. And I think he will do that way quicker than that, especially with a line with Stankoven there. He's got that chemistry. I don't think that'll be a problem, but I do agree he was pretty quiet tonight. Mine's going to go to Bork's line mate, Jamie Benn. And it's just for that one play. That was a really, really bad turn of it. That was
he knew it the second he let go of that puck.
Yeah. In honor of the Hall of Fame inductee, that was a horse crap turnover if I've ever seen one. So it was not very good, and we saw it again later with Robertson. So yikes, they were just both bad. Anything else, James? Any last comments before we wrap this one up?
Nope. Like seeing Lundqvist play more. That's good.
Yep, and he's gonna have a chance to. We didn't mention this on the podcast. Dumba is listed as week to week right now.
Lower body injury. Those are the worst.
Yeah, and they said unsure when he'll return. So to me, that says a long-term kind of deal. But they said he doesn't need surgery, so it's not worst case scenario. But I think
they also recalled Petrovic as well. So that's another thing that's like he's in it for the long run at least.
We do have Petrovic. Dumba's not on the IR yet. That might just be because we have the cap space to not do it, though. I mean, we don't have to put him on the IR. We don't need the extra money that would give us. But
I'm sure that's why, honestly.
Yeah,
I really think
otherwise he would be on the IR.
Yeah.
So not looking good for that, but we honestly don't know a ton. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. And
gives Lundqvist his chance, though, dude. I mean, how many chances has this dude had?
And I think Petrovic deserves to get some good looks as well. The first two games that he played with Texas down here in Austin, he looked really great. He looked better than an AHL defenseman, honestly. I mean, he really stands out in those AHL games. Even offensively in the AHL games, that kind of shows you how much better he is than the guys he's playing against in Texas, in my opinion, is that he's a stay-at-home defensive guy. But when he's playing in the AHL, he's able to actually do some offensive stuff just because he has so much more experience than a lot of these players. So I'd like to see Petrovic get some good looks in, pretty much even with Brendan Smith, honestly. I'm going to little Columbo this to take the words from Mike Heike's podcast, but I don't think Smith has been fantastic, honestly.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
He looks slow, is what I'll say. He's like a half step slow on everything. He hasn't done anything yet to cost us anything, though, which is part of the other problem. True. I mean, he's normally back, and he normally does enough to stop the goal from going in.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So that'll do it for us here tonight. The Stars win. Final score, I'm going to say it this time just because I didn't want to confuse people at first. But the Stars win 2-2 tonight, plus the shootout win. Stars are 4-0 now. The undefeated season is still intact. Goaltenders are still playing fantastic. Room to grow where the Stars are still winning. This is exactly what we wanted to see. This is exactly what we expect to see from the Stars. We've got another game coming up soon. Who's it against, James?
It is against the Washington Capitals.
That should be a win. Just put the W down already.
The Golden Knights already lost to them, and they were undefeated too. So,
ooh, maybe they're the killers.
They might be the killers.
Well, anyway, we'll see y'all after that game for another AGR. Be sure to check out our sponsors, BetterHelp and DraftKings, and also Game Time. Please go use the promo code THPN. If you have the Game Time app, which is great for Stars tickets, especially the last minute ones, it does really well. Just go into the Game Time app right now if you have it, and you can go into the promo code section. Just type in THPN. That would really help us out. It would let them know that we're sending y'all over there, and it'll help them to re-up with us. So just go ahead and do that. Use promo code THPN. Use promo code THPN on any of our sponsors, and you'll get some free stuff. some free coupons, all kinds of stuff like that. So that'll do it for us tonight. For my brother James, I am Chris. This has been Starcastic Remarks, and GG boys.